5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Things are a little bit more lax than they were last time I flew. Last time I flew, they were not letting people on with lighters. And now you can fly with a lighter. I am pleased to report that you can fly out of SFO with marijuana on your person or in your carry-on, and it's fine. They don't care.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Join Alex Bennett on the Ramble.
First of all, Phil, not everybody who commits a crime gets their kids taken away from them. You know.
If the kid is sitting in the car.
Not everybody has that kind of situation. Secondly, forget about, hey, they're doing something illegal, because this is kind of a different situation. This is more an immigrant. Will you let me fucking finish? Jesus. I give up. Just you talk.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
I want to know more about this blood sacrifice. What are you talking about? What kind of blood? What are you talking about? Sacrificing virgins on an altar?
No. If you,
I want to be there and see that.
I assure you, you don't want a virgin. It's way too.
Well,
something.
Since they took care of Epstein, who am I got to look up to now?
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
The whole, what was it? Who was the Deshaun Foster? Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to condemn him and say you were a huge piece of shit for doing all of this stuff, and then we had to eat crow and apologize because we found out that was not the case.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
What happens when you combine the largest broadcaster in America with a puny, insignificant podcaster? You get the huge platform of iHeartRadio and Alex Bennett's Ramble. Yes, now the Ramble is being carried on iHeartRadio as one of thousands of podcasts they make available. Now the big question is, how do we navigate this clutter? The answer is you. Go to iHeartRadio.com, then to their podcast section, and search for Alex Bennett's Ramble. Once you've found it, make it a favorite. If enough of you do it, we could make that 15-year-old girl with her makeup tips step aside for the new king of podcasting. Okay, who am I kidding? She's about 2 million subscribers ahead of us, but it will help to put us on the map. The Ramble and iHeartRadio. Proof that Alex isn't good enough to be on one of their radio stations, but they are desperate enough to feature the Alex Bennett's Ramble podcast. A match made in broadcasting heaven. The Ramble from GabNet. Talk like iHeart and you have never heard before.
You love GabNet. You love the hosts and the citizen panels. In fact, you wish you could take them wherever you go. On your computer, log on to gabnet.net, where our stream is available around the clock. On your TV, GabNet is available on Roku with the same around-the-clock stream, plus all the latest episodes of GabNet programs, old favorites, videos, and tons of celebrity interviews. When you're mobile, we're on your iPhone or iPad with podcasts accessible via iTunes or Stitcher, and that same around-the-clock stream on TuneIn. If you don't want GabNet wherever you go, well, the hell with you. Go ahead, listen to your old-fashioned talk shows that do things in the same old predictable way. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be having fun listening to talk like you've never heard it before on GabNet. 5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Live from Harlem, it's the Alex Bennett Ramble. Yes, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time, and we'll be having our citizens panel in just a little bit. Hi, how are you? What's happening out there? Okay, I don't know. A few little problems starting off tonight, but I got it all on fairly smoothly, so that's a first for us this week. I don't know. So anyway, where are we? And what are we talking about? What are we going to go do tonight? A girlfriend doesn't want to do the show anymore. So come Friday nights, I got nothing to do with it. I got to find some other guest to put in here during that time. So if you have any suggestions of who you'd like to hear. But girlfriend has ceased to love you anymore and doesn't want to have anything to do with you. So I thought I would just, get along without her. Yeah, she said to me tonight, she said, it's just nothing when we're together and all you do is insult me. So I went, okay, all right. I'm not trying to insult you, but what the hell. Anyway, so I have nothing to talk about, nothing. And I've been tired again today. I'll tell you what we did do. We oh, yeah. We decided that my driver's license expires in December 18th, my birthday. And November 3rd, hers expires, so we decided we would go to the DMV to get our licenses renewed and also get that special thing you get that will allow you to get on airplanes with your driver's license, all right? It's all part of the great American paranoia where we're all worried that somebody's out to kill us, okay? And somebody probably is, but what the fuck? Anyway, so So what we did is we said, we're going to do this the easy way. Or we're going to write in, and we're going to make an appointment, right? And then you make an appointment, and mine was for like $150, and hers was for $145, okay? So we go down there, and we go up to this place, and they look at our stuff and everything. They say, okay, well, sit down and wait for your number to get called. Okay, and they give you this little ticket with a number, right? And all this went very smoothly because we had signed up ahead of time, which you got to do. Because I looked at the people who were lined up who didn't do that when they could have, okay? And, that line was hellacious, all right? So decided, okay, that's fine. And we each get our numbers, and she's like E352, and I'm E353 or something like that. And we sit there, and they keep saying these different numbers, and all of a sudden they give out my number, and they say, go to, desk 5 or something like that, which I do. And I go and I give them all my stuff, and I've got my my driver's license, and I've got my passport, and I've got a proof of a letter that I got to prove that I lived in this apartment house, from the bank, so that they can. So I'm proving my existence, all right. And then what was the other thing I had to give them? Not a birth certificate, passport. Oh, and then my driver's license. So anyway, four pieces of proof. They all approved that, and then he signed it, and then they said, okay, and the charge is, and I'm going, last time I got my driver's license, I think it was $16 or something like that. That was 10 years ago. $110. $110. It's a lot less, but they add $30 for this special thing so you can get on airplanes. So it got pretty expensive, all right? It was an expensive day for me at the DMV. Meanwhile, I look over, and girlfriend is still sitting there. And I said to him, my wife is still sitting over there. She obviously hasn't been called. My number was after hers, and I got called before her. And he Yeah, he said, well, what was the number? I said, it's one number before mine. And he looked up. He said, oh, well, she's going to be called next. So I go sit down with her. I say, you're going to be called next. Well, she wasn't called next. And then there's another number and another number. But she's not being called. I don't know what happened. Eventually, we got to somebody and we said, what's happening here? Because she hasn't been called. And they said, oh, well, go over to Windows 7 and that person will help you. And that person finally put her through. But we were sitting around waiting for a good half hour before we even got the information to do that. All right? And so that was hellacious. What we thought was going to be a nice, smooth, easy peasy, get the thing done and get the fuck out of there deal took longer than we thought. It would have been just right if they had called her at an efficient time, but they didn't. So I don't know. And they made no excuse for why her number didn't get called, you know? And so we spent we spent an hour down there. But I know what you're saying. An hour at the DMV? That's a godsend. But you'd think they've got this, they figure they've got this down, right? So they can get people through fast and so on. Nah, they haven't got it down at all. So I'm cleaning dust off my table while I'm talking to you. I really wish this were radio again, and then I could sit here naked if I wanted to. Anyway, so that was our day at the DMV. And then we come back, and we live in an apartment, and right next to me, across this wall here that you can't see, that's right there, okay, on the other side of that wall is another apartment. And I sometimes can hear them there, okay, because the walls in here are a bit thin. And I know they have a kid and stuff. And then there's this big kind of what used to be a door. You can see the frame is still there, and they put a mirror in there. And it used to go across into the next apartment or another room in the next. I don't know what it was. Anyway, we're coming back, and we meet up with this couple and their kid. And Marjorie knows them because she's met them before, and they're the people that live in the apartment right over here. So we hear that it's a bigger apartment. Can you imagine? Ours is 2,500 square feet. So for there to be a bigger apartment, you really got to gasp, okay? And so they said, would you like to come up and have a glass of wine and see the apartment? And we said, oh, sure. Because they had spent, the building had spent about $200,000 to refurbish it. And then they spent another $100,000 or something to fix it up themselves to their specifications. So we said we got to see this, you know. And we went up, and what we saw was amazing. They've got 5 bedrooms, okay? We only have 3. They have 5 bedrooms. More than 5 bedrooms, here comes the best part, they have 4 fireplaces, one of which is in their bedroom. Now I'm really jealous, okay? And then the whole thing is just, you know, the doors are really nice and everything. Here, this place is a little schlumpy. If you look at the door back here, see that? That door is just, you know, that door has got to be taken off its hinges and taken down to a shop and sanded and varnished and the hardware changed in it. And I have about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 other doors that I would want to do the same exact thing with. Okay? So, so I'm, you know, so, but the doors are all really nice doors, and the place has been painted nicely, and it's you know, it's been, of course, what are we paying? We're not paying anything, and they're probably paying something like $7,000 a month for that apartment. But what this guy does also is it's also his business. And what is his business? He restores violins. Now, as soon as I heard this, I went, you know, my father was a violinist. So I have a great love for violins. He says, well, then you're going to love this. And he takes me into a room where he's got a lock on the door, one of these punch locks, okay? And then we go in, and he's got a safe, a giant safe. And he opens up the safe, and he pulls out 2 violin cases. And one case has 2 violins in it, and the other case has 1 violin in it. And he says, look at these. These are Stradivariuses. I looked at this because my father, being a musician, when I grew up knowing what a Stradivarius was, it was the finest violin probably ever made. Although this guy says there have been violins as good, but Stradivarius has the reputation. This one Strad that I was looking at was from 1720. And another Strad he had was from 1680. And I said, how much are they worth? He says, oh, well, this one's worth, I think he said, this one's worth $2 million. And he said, and the other one, oh, that's worth $6 million. What the fuck? And then I picked it up, and he let me put it under my chin, because I know how to kind of hold a violin under my chin since my father did it all the time, and he tried to teach me the violin when I was a kid. And all of a sudden, there was this kind of how can I put it? This thing washed over me about wanting to call my father, who's been dead, for years and years and years and years and years and years. Died back in, let's see here, when did he die back in? He died back in 64, 63, somewhere around there. But I had for the first time in my life, the urge to pick up the phone and call my father and say, Dad, guess what I was doing? And what were you doing, son? I was in the presence of 3 Stradivariuses, And one, I think he said, was worth $2 million. Another one was worth $6 million. $6 million. They were about $12 million worth of Stradivariuses looking me in the face, and I was holding one of them. And it just, to be in the presence of a work of art like a Stradivarius, of which he says there are only about 1,200 left in the world. But they were 1,200. He made 1,200, and he said, I think there are 600 in the world left, because obviously things get broken, things get destroyed. And but it was just awesome. It was just awesome to see these violins. And I mean, I wouldn't know a Stradivarius from a Charlie Daniels fiddle. I mean, because I wouldn't know what to look for, but he showed me what to look for. And he said, see the wood and see this and see how this has been made and the tonal quality of it. And he does this for a living. He restores violins, and then in many cases will turn around and sell them to somebody. Now the Stradivariuses were ones he was hired on to restore. He has a guy also that works with him that does the restorations, being in the presence of musical history like that, you have no idea. And you probably don't even appreciate the story I'm telling you. And the reason you don't appreciate it is because I'm my father's kid. My father was a violinist. And I remember once him telling me, he worked with Jack Bennett at something, right? And he came home and he said, that fucking Benny. And I said, what? What's wrong with Jack Benny? I love Jack Benny. He says, so do I, so does all America. But he gets out there on stage and with his violin, and he starts scratching out this violin music. Now, we all know that Jack Benny was a better violinist than he made out to be, that really playing badly it was something that he did on purpose. He wasn't a great violinist, but he could make a violin work. Okay, he could get a violin to do what a violin had to do. and not be embarrassing about it. But no, instead he played it for comedy. And my father says he walks out on the stage with his violin, and it's a fucking Stradivarius. He said, what a waste of a good Strad, because if my father had his way, if he could afford it, he would have wanted to have a Stradivarius. I mean, it's just that's the godsend of the business. Although he did tell me that there's something he called the Mecca violin, and it's supposedly the best violin in the world, and it's not a Strad, I think he said. But, oh, man, the stuff he was telling me about these violins, and to be able to hold this thing, well, what is it? If we say that it was about, averaged out about, coming in at about 1,600, this 400-year-old violin under my neck, okay, holding it, just the history that was there. Let me turn on the lights back here. If I got to do that last night, girlfriend's not in here to nag me about that, so I forget to turn it on. But this was just an absolute thrill, and and then he showed us around this apartment, which of course we were jealous because we can't do anything to this apartment right now. We would do some work on it. There are a lot of things that could be done that would make it really nicer and prettier. But we can't because we don't have a lease on the place. And if we get a lease, then we will do something with it. But this apartment was just gorgeous. But then the violins, what a treat that was. Four fireplaces, folks. But he can't use the ones that are near the violins because he has to keep the violins at perfect humidity. He had this violin case that had a gauge on it that gauged the humidity in the violin case. And then it had this bar, and you put water in there to create humidity in the case, so that the violins don't get too dry. I mean, just amazing what these things had to do to preserve them. I mean, but you're talking about $2 million, $4 million, $6 million violins, and so you do want something to protect them in any way you possibly can. So anyway, I was just absolutely in awe of what I saw. But then it made me really sad because it reminded me of my father. And I kept saying all day to day, I want to call my father and tell him what I was just in the presence of. If I had told him, Dad, this guy lives next door to us, and he's got 3 Stradivariuses in his apartment right now that he's using that he's restoring and that he's working on. And my father would just go, oh, wow, wonderful. He would be thrilled to hear the story. And the fact that I would love to reach for the phone and be able to call him, and I know that I can't. And what's funny? Somebody once said to me, when you have a parent that dies, the worst part about your parent dying is that one day you feel bad when they first die, but you're kind of numb to the whole experience. And that about a year later, you suddenly go, I got to call Dad. And then you suddenly realize you can't call your father or you can't call your mother. And then it really hits you that they're gone. Okay? And I don't think it was until today that it really hit me that my father's gone. Because I couldn't call him to give him this news about, guess what I saw, Dad? Guess what this guy next door to me has? They're not his. He what is it? He restores them for people. He has had some that he has gone and done the sale on, things like that. So, just fascinating, just absolutely fascinating. And they're right next door, but they're all locked up and he's got those things are, but he's got violins all over the place. And his wife is a violinist. And every now and then she just picks up one of the Strads and starts playing with it because of the tone that it gives out. And she says it's a thrill, But anyway, really enjoyed the going there. Let me see here. Anything else that I need to talk to you about? No, I did the whole thing about the DMV. So it'll be a couple of weeks and I'll get my new license. By the way, for those people who are worried about you have to get this license with this special thing on it that allow you to get on an airplane, if you have a passport, then you can just use that, okay? But you can't get on with your, with your driver's license. That's the difference. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up the lines a little early here. What the hell? Of course, nobody will call, but I'll open up the lines early. Been very quiet lately. It starts making me wonder whether I really want to keep doing this or not, at least in the present form that I'm doing it, because the participation really has been lackluster. Not that it hasn't been quality, because these people are good quality people that call me and Oh, well, who's calling? Oh, Ray Renati's the first one in tonight. Ooh. Hey there, Ray. How are you?
Hey.
Hey. Let me just give you a spot here.
Probably too noisy here.
Huh?
Probably too noisy here, right?
No, it's not that noisy.
Okay.
No, do they? But don't they mind you doing that? Like you'll see in a moment, folks, when I put them up here.
Guy comes over.
Oh, and here comes Vernon Nunn. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me put Vernon up here. We'll put him in the number. I'll put him in the number 3 spot because I bet if Charlie Wallace calls, well, let me see here. Let me put Vernon Nunn in there, and then let me okay that, and then number 2 spot. Will be Phil Meyer. Let me answer the phone here to get Phil Meyer, and we're getting him in here. Hold on. Come on. Cancel. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Josh Wheeler. Let me open him up. Hello, Josh. How are you this evening? All right. Now let me see here. Let me take this and go here. Number 2. We'll put. Who do we want to put in the number 2 spot? We'll put Vernon Nunn, number 2 spot. Okay. Wait a minute. I have him in the number 3 spot. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm all mixed up here. Hold on a second. Number 2 spot, we'll put Josh Wheeler. Okay. Josh Wheeler. There we go. Okay, so who do we have? And then I got to put Phil Meyer in somewhere, right? Well, we just won't even put him in anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You don't have to. That'll shut him up. Let me see here. Let's see. Scuba diver. There we go. Okay, and wait a minute. Here comes Kathleen tonight. Wait a minute. This is getting to be a nice regular thing for us. Hello there, darling. How are you this evening? Hold on. I'm
tired.
Let me give you your slot. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Who do we have here? And who do I have up here? I have Ray Renati. I have. And okay. Here's where I got to put you. Okay, put you in the 5 place. Okay. Let's see here. Yes. Kazoo. There we go. All right, folks. Look at this. Here's our citizen
I'm delayed,
panel.
But I'm not seeing the screen.
Huh?
All I see is you.
All you see is me? Well, I don't know what.
Yeah, and that's on the Gabnet feed.
What? Oh.
On the Gabnet feed.
Well, that's probably because you're getting a lagged feed and watching
it's
the beginning.
Only about 30 seconds.
Why don't you refresh your screen? And we don't care what you're seeing there by delay. So anyway, hello everybody. Oh, wait a minute, here comes Charlie Wallace. We got to put Charlie in there. Boy, we're filling up fast. This is always nice. This is fun. Let me
Friday
see
night
here.
full house.
Well, I don't know if we'll get a full house, but let me see here. Charles Wallace. Okay, there we go for Charlie. Let me see here. Let me give him. We do transition, and there we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So I was with some great violins today.
Now, what would have happened if you dropped one?
Actually, his wife did. I think she fell on one. Yeah.
Wow.
But they
Was he able to fix it?
Yeah. In fact, she was hurt. She hurt herself, and they cared more about the violins than they did about her, they say.
It went into the ambulance and
Yeah.
she stayed behind.
Yes, right. Exactly.
I hope no like thieves were like watching the show. They're gonna head right over to that apartment.
Oh, listen, the guy has. If you go on to Apple, what do you call it? Apple Maps, and you zoom in on my apartment, the name of his business is in the building, so people know that that's in the building, and he's got that really protected, taken care of.
That was a great story, though. I loved it.
Yeah. I asked him how he sends these violins, back to wherever they're going or whatever. And he says he gets in a plane and takes them sometimes. Because you can't insure something over $30,000 when you're sending it by FedEx or by UPS. Yeah. So he on those large ticket items, he will actually physically go and take them to the various cities that he's going to, or sometimes they will come and pick them up. So it's. But wow.
Has he ever been stiffed for a repair?
I don't know. I didn't sit there and ask him every question.
Well, maybe that's how he got those Stradivarius.
How do you stiff?
They didn't pay.
How do you
They
stiff?
didn't pay for the repair.
Yeah. How do you stiff somebody for a repair when they're holding your $2 million violin?
The repair was $3 million.
Huh?
The repair was $3 million.
Yeah. So anyway,
I heard this. I think it was on This American Life or something. There's a cello player, and he had a very expensive cello.
Oh, Yo-Yo Ma.
Orchestra.
Yo-Yo Ma.
Yo-Yo Ma.
And
I know
they buy a seat for their cello on
the
the airplane.
Oh yeah. Well, Yo-Yo Ma though was the one I think who accidentally left his cello in the cab.
It's 10:33.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was in high school, I bought a 1960 MGA, and I bought it from a guy in the Boston Symphony, and he played a cello, and he used to put the cello in the passenger seat of this MG, and decided finally to get a bigger car. That's when I bought the MG.
Yeah. But anyway, so it was a thrill. I mean, but the big thrill was that my father, if he were still alive, would have loved to hear about it. You know, and that made me feel sad.
One other thing about what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying the DMV, you were waiting, and it was an awful thing, and they were bypassing your number. Universal health care will be very similar to that.
Bullshit.
Oh, that's what you say now. Wait till you're in line with a number.
Alex, an hour was great. I had to wait 4 hours in line to get my Texas license plate last Wednesday.
Now, you couldn't make an appointment with them? And
they say you could, but I went online, Google it, I never could find out how to make an appointment.
Yeah, well, we did the appointment thing, and it worked for me. I was in and out of there, but
my appointment's Monday.
But they didn't call her, and that was the problem.
Yeah. My appointment for the same thing is Monday.
Yeah. What do you mean for the same thing?
For the driver's license with the special dot.
Well, I didn't do it to get the special thing, although I got all my stuff together so I could get the special thing on it. It was because my driver's license is expiring on the 18th of December. So
I am having difficulty buying bullets without that license.
Oh, that's a shame.
Really?
Yeah.
With the new ID one?
Yeah. Well, I don't have
called
the
Real
new
ID
one yet.
Yeah, it's called Real ID.
Yeah, I'm getting that Monday.
Imagine having a gun and not being able to buy any bullets. What?
Well, I'm buying them on the black market.
What a What a
Just make your
shame.
own, Phil.
This breaks my heart.
Make your own.
I got enough hobbies. No more.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy factory stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
My neighbor does that, and it looks like a royal pain in the ass.
I think it is.
What
Yeah.
what is the royal
Too many
pain?
We used
steps.
to make our own shotguns.
What making your own bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard, really. You just need the right machine.
It's just time consuming.
It is. It takes like 30 seconds per bullet. It's ridiculous.
30 seconds per bullet. Wow.
Yeah, and I shoot on average 200 bullets a week.
Really? How much does that cost you, Phil, in bullets?
Between 30 and 40 cents a round.
Yeah. So you're talking
$80, $100
$80 or $100, and you just do that by just shooting
every week.
every week.
You spend $100 a week on bullets?
Phil,
Yeah.
Phil, start doing marijuana or something. Spend your money on something worthwhile.
It's cheaper than golf.
It's cheaper than golf. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get more satisfaction.
By the way, Josh hasn't been with us for a while. Where you been, Josh?
I've had to work this week, and I've been working during the day. I've had to go in at 6 a.m., so
Yeah.
even though I've been off in the evening, would be a little late not getting to bed till after midnight, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't call too much. It's probably going to be the same way next week. But I'm here tonight.
Yeah,
Don't have
good.
to work tomorrow. So we're here tonight.
Great having you here. My feet are killing me today, by the
Like
way.
this week and shit.
I've been taking
What's that?
I've been taking this stuff for my neuropathy, and it's supposed to help my feet, but it seems my feet are worse the next day when I walk. It hurts more.
If you bought the rubs, it
No,
wouldn't
I
hurt.
have
you
them.
You didn't get the real thing.
I have that one.
Are you using it?
No, I'm using the roller one.
Does it
It
work?
looks like
Yes.
a cat toy.
Look, this thing. But
Alex, it does get better.
Huh?
It does get better. When the nerves completely die like mine, you never feel any pain.
Oh, I see. All
Yeah,
right.
they just cut it off.
Well, it's not that my nerves are dying. That's not the point. It's just that they make the bottom of my feet hurt. So that when I'm
But that's
walking,
what the neuropathy is your nerves are dying and they're firing when there's no reason to fire.
oh, well, but I don't know that I have neuropathy. Or that I have peripheral neuropathy. I think what he
probably have a
felt that I
pinched nerve.
had was radio something. There was something in my back that is causing this to happen. It's not, the kind. It's not diabetic neuropathy. Okay?
Yeah, well then there's no hope for you.
The reason you're not diabetic
So
is
I'm
because
think-
you've been on a protein
I'm thinking
diet
maybe-
and you're keeping your carbs low.
Yeah, well, so good for me.
Yeah.
Not that I want to make
But
Charlie
maybe you really
feel
are
bad.
diabetic, and you got the neuropathy, but you don't have the high level of sugar.
I asked my doctor, "Am I diabetic?" He said no.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
What?
Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento.
The new Dr. Phil.
Dr. Vinny Bombettes, huh?
Yeah.
Dr. Demento. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so I my feet were just killing me today. I don't know why, and it seems to happen from taking this drug. After I take this drug, my feet hurt more the next day than they did. They take care of it overnight. They don't. I don't have any foot pain, and then the next day the foot really hurts. So I was having a hard time walking today. Jeez.
That's okay. Just wait 2 weeks.
What?
Just wait 2 weeks.
What do you mean wait 2 weeks?
It'll fall off.
Oh, it'll fall off. Okay. No, I would think I had diabetes, but I don't. I just don't. So.
I got the neuropathy before I had the diabetes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I not only had a touch of the cancer, I have the neuropathy too.
Oh, you have neuropathy?
Oh yeah. Why do you think I got the ball?
I don't know. To replace your testicles?
They're still there. They're hanging low too, but
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah. No, I have one of those balls, but I like this thing because the trouble with the ball is if I'm sitting here and I'm trying to do it, it goes. Somehow I lose it, and then I have to go find it and follow it and stuff like that. See,
And
this is
you
what we
lose it a
talk
lot.
about, Kathleen. Old people stuff.
You'll get there.
You knew me.
I have no apathies yet.
I don't. I was. Was I much of a hypochondriac with you?
Totally. Remember your horoscope I would read to you?
Yeah.
Me. I'd go, okay, here's my horoscope, blah, 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 blah. And then I'd go, let me read yours. Me, my career. Do you think they're going to fire me? Do you think it's cancer? Me. Do you think they're going to fire me? Cancer? No. Me.
And you liked me anyway?
Of course.
Oh, see? This is all the shit that my wife won't put up with. You know, this just bothers the shit out of her.
Oh, be nice to her.
Oh, I am nice to her. You know, very nice to her.
It made good radio, though.
What made
I
good?
bet.
What made good radio? Oh, me having all.
We talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, I guess I always was a hypochondriac. You know, but as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. It's really gotten worse. But anyway, so I got this neuropathy, and it bothers me because if so let's say I want to go to some place like China and I want to go walk a lot. I'm wondering if I can do it anymore. You know, but
will Marjorie push you? Don't they have wheelchairs?
Oh, shut the fuck up, will you?
They just throw a blanket over you, kind of like FDR, you know.
If I need a wet blanket, I'll just have you call the show, okay?
Ba-dum-bum.
How about you? How about you, Vernon? What's happening with your life?
Oh, I'm just enjoying the scene that's going on now in Washington. Mike Pence might be involved now, and Rick Perry is going to resign because his involvement in the Ukraine scandal. I'm just enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, they're all sweating big beads of sweat. Do you realize that?
Including
Biden.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Biden's not sweating shit. There's nothing wrong with Biden.
Biden's not sweating anything.
And he will be. And Sanders had a heart attack.
Yeah. I think Sanders is finished. I mean, not that he's going to die. I mean, he's finished because America's not going to vote for somebody who has a heart condition like that. You know.
Well, Elizabeth Warren's taken a lot of his votes too, a lot of his support.
Yeah. Which is going to probably make her the front runner. You know,
this week.
President Warren.
In one poll, it was.
Yeah. Oh well, no. The polls, Phil, say that Warren can beat Trump in a heartbeat.
Hey, the polls said that Clinton could beat Trump in a heartbeat.
The polls said that Clinton would win the election, and she did. She got more votes by 3 million votes than he did.
Yeah.
And
they said he had no chance to get to 270.
Who said that?
I don't remember that.
Every one of those polls and every one of the
polls
news
weren't saying it. All the polls were saying all the polls were reporting were raw numbers.
Yeah, they were just reporting total numbers for the country. They weren't reporting individual states, which is
of course, yeah. Spin that one, will you? A little more.
Yeah, like Trump.
70,000 votes. That's all he won by. If 70,000 votes swung the other way, he wouldn't have been president.
Well, if the queen had balls, she'd be king.
I'm just saying. Something about how the polls were wrong. They weren't wrong.
Yeah, but the Hungarians were right. You know.
Yeah. Oh, what's your son getting?
He's getting his vitamin B12.
Oh, really? I have my vitamin B12 right over here. Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? What was the movie you were talking about? You were asking me if Mickey Rooney played...
Whiplash in Iron Man 2?
Yeah, he goes, hey, Mom, remember Iron Man 2? Did Mickey Rooney play Whiplash? And I was like, Mickey Rooney? No. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rooney's been dead a long time.
Yeah,
I think before Iron Man.
And he's like this big.
Yeah.
Get your star straight.
Yeah. Are you a Mickey Rooney fan?
No, last summer he got hooked onto the old Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was pointing out all the old stars.
Yeah.
All dead.
A lot of Leonard.
So I like that. So your son's interested in old stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's cool. Because I was too. When I was growing up, I was into all that old stuff.
I don't know if it's cool. Look how you turned out, Alex.
I turned out pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You know, I mean, look at me. I'm talking to an ex-girlfriend. Once in a while, I have my ex-wife on. I mean, it must be that I wasn't a terrible human being.
How come they're all exes?
Because that wasn't the nature of our relationship. You know?
All right.
I mean...
I wasn't trying to be serious. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I just did. Why we didn't stop seeing each other, did we, Kathleen? We just stopped.
No, we were like best friends.
We stopped dating each other. I think that's the way to put it. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you come to a point where you stop dating and you still talk?
Because you begin to realize that the value of your relationship is more important that way than the way, you know, you want to, you know. If let's say I married her, we probably would have started to hate each other. You know.
Don't you get grief from the next one down the road that doesn't want, you know, to have you have contact with the previous ones?
I get that sometimes from Marjorie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sometimes is a little, how can we put it? She can get that way, you know.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me see here. I got to put in Darth Pat. Okay.
Bigger screen.
I got to go to. Yeah, I got to go to the next screen here. Hold on a second, folks. Here we go. Let me. There we go. Okay. Wait a minute. Yep. We're one short of. What would that be? A full house? If I
No.
Not yet.
You got 7, 8. You need 2 more for full house.
Listen, at this point, this is a full house. You know.
Yeah, you can change the rules.
Yeah. Hello, Patrick.
Hola.
Hola. This is Patrick, Kathleen, because Kathleen has met almost every. Well, she hasn't met Josh, and she hasn't met Vernon. Nope. So that's Vernon there with the player some Morse code there.
Nice.
Yeah, and Patrick will now put some WD-40 on the wheels on his wheelchair. Okay, just so you know who he is.
You got racing stripes on that?
Yeah.
I'm getting fitted for a new one next week.
You're getting what?
Fitted new chair next week.
New chair next week. Are you getting? Is there some kind of newer, higher tech chair, or is it just the same old chair?
It better be the same fucking chair, because it's the same type I've been using for 16 years.
Yeah.
I have to think about taking it apart and putting it together. It just, you know, it.
In the ass.
Yeah.
I told you I have a friend with a chair, and it goes upstairs. It's electric, you know, and it'll climb upstairs. It'll do amazing stuff, and how precise the adjustments are.
But Patrick doesn't want an electric chair or an electric wheelchair, right, Patrick? Because you look, huh?
If I had money to just piss away, I would get something like what Phil was talking about for vacations or going to, you know, other people's houses and shit with, you know, with stairs and that. But no, you're right. I'm a manual wheelchair guy and will be until I can't do it anymore. So.
Yeah, he also has a special van that you push a button and out comes a ramp, and then he goes up the ramp, and I think the chair is also his driver's seat.
Yeah.
It's an amazing
thing.
You don't want a van either.
Really? You have that?
Well, no.
Fuck no, I wouldn't get a van.
He's got a Chevy Malibu.
Good luck if the battery goes on that fucking ramp and you're on it.
I think
I've seen that, and no, I saw that one time, and that was enough to convince me to stick with my car.
Yeah. The biggest problem is if you park in a handicapped space and then somebody pulls in that little striped area that shouldn't be there, and then you go back to get in your van or ramp and you can't get in the vehicle.
Yeah.
I have the same problem though. I've had idiot parking in the stripe line. So
Yeah. But
Yeah.
don't you get in on the driver's side?
Kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His van, he gets in on the opposite side.
Yeah. Well, but then how do you? Can I? This got to be a hat trick for you though. You've got the wheelchair, and then you got the car. So you then got to put the wheelchair in the car, right, Patrick? Okay.
You put the lime in the coconut.
How do you pull that one off?
Alex, I'm sure I pointed you to this video before.
Mhm.
It's on my Facebook page. If
Yeah.
you go into my photo albums,
Mm-hmm.
their album called Videos, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ones of me with me standing and doing exercises, and then there's one with me putting the chair together.
Oh, wait a minute. Your Facebook page.
See, he's admitted he can stand. This whole thing's a hoax.
What is if I go to
Hey, he gets
I
in
go to
his stuff faster than I
Facebook.com.
do.
What do I go to after I do Facebook.com?
Probably photos.
No, I have to go to Patrick's page. What's the name of your page? Patrick?
Patrick, you frozen?
Are you
He's
are you there, Patrick?
He's frozen.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Wow.
That doesn't help.
It's just Patrick Blazik.
Huh?
I've seen the video. He can.
Where do I go? Patrick? Do I go Patrick Blazik?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
Having allergies.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Patrick again. Okay. Patrick, are you there? Here
Yeah.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your Facebook page? It's Patrick. It's facebook.com/what?
I don't know. I'm
Patrick Blazik.
I'll look.
Well, wait a minute. I can just hold on a second. Hold on a second.
You can
That's
search
all right.
it.
Patrick Blazik.
There's a lot of them.
No, there's only one Patrick Blazik.
I know.
And there he is. Okay, I'm on your page. Now the question is, oops, what is that? Oh, Tony Magno is calling. No, he was calling. Or did he? Is he here? Are you here, Tony? No.
Tony.
No, Tony isn't here. Huh. Okay, well, he'll try again later. Well, let's see. Where do we go now? Into photos or?
Yeah. Oh, no, he's videos. Videos, he said.
But yeah, but it would be in the photo album and do the album of videos.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Photos,
so-
see all.
So anyway, videos. Oh, there it is. Okay, I think that's it. I think that may be it. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Now here I can do something here, folks. Watch this. This'll just. There it is. He is, ladies and gentlemen. It's you didn't do it landscape.
No, I had took it away. It had to be sitting in the cup holder in the door.
Okay, well let me do this here. Hold on a second.
There's music. You've
There-
got to turn the music off.
Oh, okay, well let me see here. I don't think the music will play. I'm hoping not. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Tony Magno is calling. Let me just get him on here. Let me see here. Tony. Phony, Tony. Let me cancel. What is
There he
this?
is.
What
He's
is
standing.
It? There we go.
There he is. Yep.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
We got. Wait a minute. Where is Tony Quisp? No, he's not here. He's not here. Are you there, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a
Skype?
second. Hold on a second. Let me try again here. Sometimes if I open this up too early.
Tony, you got a light?
Oh, wait a minute.
You're a little dark.
I don't have Tony here. Why don't I have Tony here? Josh, scuba diver, Vernon Nunn, Charles Wallace. Okay.
Did you change the
Pat?
name on your thing, Tony, because you got a new computer?
Oh, that's right. He changed it.
That could be it. I could be Tony Quisp, yeah, because I logged in with Skype Fresh. Well, it saved my contacts, actually.
He's looking for Quisp. He couldn't find it. Didn't you have another one on the Surface Book?
Yeah, what was it again? I forgot.
Oh,
now.
all right.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to
Webhead
look here. Is that
39646?
Webhead?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, all right.
Vitamin.
See, how dare you change this stuff on me for crying out loud?
I didn't
Why
realize
don't you just sign in with the same one? Why do you need a
It
bunch of
should have
different?
took my contacts. I don't know why. When I logged in,
okay. Now hold on a second. We got to go over here to. Let me see here. Yeah, I put this on another thing here. Let me see if I can go to it, folks. There. That is. Okay. Here's Tony. Tony. Here's Patrick. Trying to get in his. There he goes. You're in the car, but how'd you get in there?
That's the magic.
There's a board that I used like a bridge that goes between the seat on the wheelchair and the car seat that I slide over.
Oh, I see. Okay. There you go. Wait a minute. Let me turn the sound down. I can shut off the music here. And there he goes. Now he's gonna. The wheelchair's outside now, right? You got that out of the thing. I know you people can't see what I'm showing the audience. And here he goes. There's the wheelchair. He's been doing this for how many years now?
16.
16.
As long as you and Kathleen haven't seen each other.
Oh, really? Yeah. And let me. You actually have to put the wheels on it.
Yeah, I'm putting it together. I'm taking it out of the car.
What is this? An IKEA wheelchair? Okay. Okay. Now I want to see.
You look so serious.
Well, you would be too if you had to go through this whole process. Okay. And now are you gonna? Now you got to put the wheels on it.
Gotta put everything together.
I mean,
everything.
You can't just fold this thing up and put it in like the. I guess you got to. And you have to undo this every time you get into the car too. You have to take it apart.
Yeah.
Boy, it's shit. It's fucked to be you. God.
I don't mind.
I know. Well, it gives you something to do. That's for darn sure. You know.
I missed doing it when I couldn't do it for 8 months because I had a sore on my foot. So.
Okay. All right. And there he goes. Now he's. Okay. You got to get the other.
I want to
wheel
see
on.
the board.
Huh?
You know how you use the board to get across.
Oh, you won't see that on this.
Oh.
Okay, so now the wheelchair looks like it's completely put together, right? Once you got the wheels on, you got it together, right? And
Got to put the feet on the back, the feet.
Oh, now you got to put the feet on the back.
I got to put the back on, and then I got to put the feet on. And
It looks like you got the whole thing done.
I might by now.
Yeah. You've got
the seat and back is on. Oh, there's the seat.
Oh, there goes the seat in the back. He's putting that on. Okay, here we go. And now comes the coup de grace on this whole thing is how you get into the wheelchair.
You don't see that.
Oh, we don't get the payoff on this? We don't get the money shot?
Yeah. No.
Because of the way that I had to situate the camera, you would have never really seen me because the camera was so close to the chair itself. So I just never even bothered transferring on that on video. So
yeah.
You ever think about putting a GoPro on the chair so you get a POV view of where you go and
Okay, so then you put the brake on, and then we're gonna see you get out of the car and into the thing, or we're just watching you assemble it. Okay.
Yeah, and so the answer to that is no, because my point of view is everybody's asshole.
Well, you can aim up.
I mean, there's some nice ones that I get to see, but there's more bad than there is good. So.
Well, Alex and Schmoody, Kathleen, were bragging the other night how they were farting at each other as they were walking up the stairs. So
I never farted at him. He farted at me.
Well, that's because he's a gentleman.
Yeah, I can't say I remember you ever giving out with a fart.
Nope.
Yeah. Do you fart?
I'm sure I do.
Oh, okay. All right. And I guess there it is. That's how to put together, folks, your goddamn wheelchair. Okay. Anyway, that's.
It's usually only the first 2 weeks of a relationship that nobody farts. Then all bets are off.
And then all bets are off. Exactly. So, yeah. Well, that's a little show and tell on tonight's program, folks. I hope you enjoyed that.
My son asked if the red guy was at the gym. Ray?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
He's very seldom at home when he calls the program.
That's true.
Sometimes he
I was
walks
in
his
a
dog.
Safeway. One time I took a leak at San Francisco
Against the
City
building.
College.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's all
kinds of fun stuff.
What's all that noise?
I don't know. I think it's when my mic's been off for a while. The thing doesn't modulate. Let me turn off my mic. Just people.
Let's see if
Yeah. You got another play you're working on, Ray? Oh, now he muted himself.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Play. An actual. Yeah. Maybe I'll get my. Crap.
Yeah.
Lost you.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us later what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here now. The bad spot.
Well, so we have
Oh,
two.
cool.
We have two gym rats on the show tonight. Kathleen's a gym rat. You're a gym rat. You're not Tony. You're not Charlie.
Oh, I go to the gym.
Do you go to the gym?
Yeah, I try to work out twice a week. So
Really?
Yeah, I join Blink.
Show us your guns.
I belong to Blink too. We love Blink. Blink is $15 a month.
Yeah, I was just gonna say $15.
Here's what happens. Girlfriend pays $2,200 a year for what is the name of the gym now? All I know is the guy who owns it became a big story a couple of weeks back because it turns out he's a major contributor to Trump.
Trump, yeah.
What's Equinox? Yeah.
Equinox.
And so I've got this gym down the street, $15 a month. It's got the cycles and it's got it's got a locker room and it's got showers. And
they're clean.
It's got all the implements of self-destruction and all those things, right? That you would want. But then I go to hers, and it's like the doors part and heavenly sounds. The choirs start singing.
They have classes, I'm sure.
Oh, they have classes, and you go in, and they have shaving cream for you and razors. Disposable razors, and I don't know. I think they have chocolates. I don't know. It's just and it's like 3 stories high, and I'm going, gee, this is amazing. But she's got to pay $2,200 a year for the fucking thing.
My son and I pay $40 a month, 20 each.
Where do you go?
And our In Shape City, and it's the big one in Tracy. So it's got indoor pool, outdoor pool, racquetball, classes, everything.
Yeah.
Everything's cheaper in Tracy.
It is.
Yeah. But you have your own pool. What do you need a pool for them to have a pool?
Well, I wouldn't use their pool. I just go in and use the weights.
Yeah. Okay.
The weights and the machines.
You still doing the weights and all of that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing little scrunchy things, and I don't know. I get on the bike, and lately what I've been doing, except my feet are now killing me, is I'm walking. Today I walked almost 2 miles. Decided to walk to the DMV and back. And I find that walking, what I enjoy about walking, at least I see stuff as I'm going. Whereas with a indoor cycle, you're just sitting there pedaling and going, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Not if you've got one of those Pelotons. You got a view like you're cycling in a forest.
But we don't have Pelotons at Blink. We're lucky.
Well, they probably do at Equinox.
Huh?
They probably do.
They may have those at Equinox. I have to ask girlfriend about that. Who knows?
Pro cyclists use the Pelotons when they can't go outside.
But didn't Peloton
it costs
have
like $3,000?
Wasn't Peloton
plus $40 a month?
Yeah, but wasn't Peloton in the middle of some kind of legal problem too? Like they were using music illegally.
Yeah, and they were probably donating to Trump.
Oh, hey, by the way, let me read you a piece of mail I got today. This is really good. This is good. Remember the problem I was having the other night? Legally?
Oh yeah.
I ran a video of the Ukrainian president playing a piano with his penis.
Well, supposedly.
Really tasteful act. I played it because, after all, isn't that what is comment, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a thing called fair usage. And that means that if you play something and it's in copyright, but you're doing it for the sake of discussion, that you can do it. So afterwards, I figured, hey, I'm 79 years old. I got nothing to fucking do with my life except write letters to YouTube, right? So I write a letter. I send in a dispute that I feel I should be able to play it because it was part of a political discussion. Today I get this piece of email. Hi, Alex Bennett. Good news. After reviewing your dispute, the license holder has decided to release the copyright claim on your YouTube video.
Well, they get a hold of the king of Ukraine?
Well, no, this was like who was it? Studley 95K Vartal. Who knows?
And he had rights to
I
this?
guess this person had the rights to
Studley?
it. Yeah, right, exactly.
Good old Studley.
Studley do right.
Yeah. So
hey, if you got nothing to do, Alex, you can fight some of my battles.
Listen, I'll tell
just
you.
email you them.
I'll tell you, don't fuck around with old people. They have nothing to do with their day but make your life miserable.
Unless you live in Century Village, then they gang up on you.
Then they gang up on you?
Yeah. Well, down in Florida, Century Village.
Yeah. I don't want to move to Florida. Please. If I move to Florida, somebody fucking shoot me. So,
Well,
Vernon, you seem to. How do you feel? Do you think Trump's in trouble?
Yeah, I think so. The more he squeals, I think the worse his predicament is getting.
I think he should keep his mouth shut right now. I just think that the more
that would be in his best interest, but he can't.
Yeah.
No, he can't.
Yeah. I mean, he's
got to go on the offensive.
He's all but admitted to trying to get foreign countries to act on his behalf to go against his political enemies.
No,
Not all
to
but
investigate crimes of corruption.
Phil.
Well,
He's not looking for. When does this guy ever look for crimes of corruption? Come on.
Says it's his job.
Come on. He's a guy who spent his entire life being.
Line, Phil?
Huh?
You know who uses the
Adolf
line
Hitler?
of investigating corruption? Autocrats.
Yep.
Autocrats. That's how they suppress their dissidents. Okay, they're going after corruption. It's bullshit.
Well,
it's
there's
a
plenty of
smokescreen.
corruption. He got elected to do that.
He's one of the most corrupt human beings in America, for Christ's sake.
Only if you listen to the people he's going after.
Oh no! When he was in here in New York, he was a corrupt motherfucker.
No, he was a builder. He just fit in.
He's a corrupt builder.
I
He
mean,
never paid anybody for their work.
if you aren't corrupt, you don't hire Roy Cohn as your lawyer. Okay?
Hey,
case
you've
made.
hired lawyers named Mr. Turtle, and what did you do? You went in for Mr. I'm going to kill you and rip your eyes out.
No.
right?
I had Mr. Turtle, and then I went out and got a lawyer named Mr. Reamer. I just felt it was tactically better.
Roy Cohn, Reamer, same thing.
You remember Reamer, don't you, Kathleen?
I do, and wasn't his mom's last name Skinner? So wasn't it Skinner and Reamer?
She had a partner named Skinner.
Yes.
And it was a divorce firm, and it was the divorce firm of Skinner and Reamer. Yeah.
Now, come on. Roy. If I was going to hire an attorney,
Do you know that
I'd want Roy Cohn.
Wait a minute. Do you know Fred died?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, I liked him a lot. He was a good guy.
I like Dewey, Cheat him, and How.
Yeah, Dewey, Cheat him, and How.
Dewey, Cheat him, and How.
Yeah.
Wasn't Reamer around 97 or something like that? You hired Reamer?
Reamer just kind of came into my life, and then he just did stuff for me almost pro bono. I never used him for anything big, but if I needed,
He was a kind of a strange, sketchy character, though.
Well, no, he wasn't really a sketchy character, but he did deal with sketchy people. You know, I mean, he was a drug lawyer.
Didn't you say you had hired some high-priced lawyer when you had to negotiate a contract?
Yeah, this was some guy down in, I'm trying to remember his name now, but he was down.
And just his letterhead was enough to make these guys give up?
No, this guy was such a great lawyer and had so much money. He owned the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay?
Is that the guy that they made sell the team because he
No.
There was the guy who owned the Clippers. Maybe
later on. But he was one of the owners of the Clippers when it first started, and he was a major show business lawyer. And you just said, well, they say, who's your lawyer? And you tell them, and they go, we give up. You know,
that's why you want Roy Cohn.
No, Roy Cohn didn't necessarily win. Roy Cohn was just, what a piece of shit.
You just break your arms.
Yeah.
Works.
That was the scariest man I've ever been in the presence of. I'm telling you, just scary. I said something. Yeah, he died of AIDS, and he also to his deathbed refused to admit he was gay. Okay.
Well, maybe it was a transfusion.
No. He was fucking gay.
Yeah. Well, he was happy.
Yeah, I mean, it was like what I loved was Cardinal Spellman, who from the pulpit would denounce being gay and then go down to the village in drag, and they used to refer to him as Aunt Franny.
Didn't they?
I had
Cardinal Spellman one of the ones that was wrapped up in this.
No.
Well, I know there was a cardinal that.
There were a lot of cardinals.
No, but this, with the child abuse thing.
Yeah, it wasn't. Francis Spellman was dead by the time that whole thing started happening.
Oh, that's been going on for years.
But I'm sure he was, diddling young boys,
Mm.
But anyway, no, I mean, somebody said this, and I said I've been saying the same thing for years, and I saw somebody in an interview, and he said I never knew what Satan looked like till I looked into the eyes of Roy Cohn, and I felt exactly that way. It was scary. They were dead. They were dead eyes.
I want him as a lawyer. When you're going after somebody,
he's the one
you
that
want the devil.
He's the one that taught Trump never admit you're wrong and never admit you did something. Just deny it completely. Even if they catch you with the knife in your hand and the dead body by your side, you still say I didn't do it.
Yeah.
He ran into the knife 17 times backwards.
Yes, exactly.
Wasn't me.
Hey, if one of my girlfriends caught me with another girl, and I was with you once when that happened, I just say no, I wasn't here. I'm not here.
That's not me. Yeah.
One night, you, me, the girl I was with, your ex-wife Susan, and Joe Rogelski were at a comedy thing, and somebody saw me there, and I was with this other girl. So they called my girlfriend, who we were kind of on the outs with, and she showed up. And I said, "No, I want to introduce you to Joe Rogelski's girlfriend," and that's.
I think that's how we played it.
Yeah.
And how did that woman feel about it, though? She must have felt like
slept
shit.
With me that night.
Really, you went out with some pretty stupid women, didn't you?
But she had big tits.
You would have never put up with that, right, Schmoody?
Nope.
No, she wouldn't have put up.
No, she's with Joe Rogelski.
Yeah. But you know what I'm not used to with you, Kathleen, is the glasses, because I don't think you wore glasses when I knew you. Yeah, just for reading, right?
Yeah.
I went down to the. I didn't have to take the eye test at the DMV because I got my ophthalmologist to fill out a form saying what my eyesight was, and so I didn't have to do that. So anyway, we're getting our new licenses. Isn't that wonderful? I was thinking of it in a very depressing way because you get new licenses every 10 years. I figure this is the last license.
Hey, I have a problem. I'm going to have a problem on Monday. They said you need a Social Security card or something, I guess, with your Social Security number on it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a card in my possession, I don't know, in 60 years.
Most people just remember the number and they don't have the
Yeah.
card. Yeah.
So when I go down on Monday, I don't have a
Look,
card. I went
or that's
online.
what happens to them. Look at Charlie. That's what happens to them.
Oh,
That's my original Social Security card, 1967.
Oh my God.
Wow. I burned my draft card, and luckily it was right after the draft was over.
Well, Marjorie laminates hers, but you're not supposed to.
No?
No, they don't like that.
But why didn't they? By the way, what is Ray still there? Ray,
No, he's got his model picture up.
Ray, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just because
this
we
camera off.
No, it's because we've got the Skype.
I'm at home and I'm walking around and.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I didn't want to screw up the picture.
Oh, okay.
Put some underwear on.
Anyway, why they never make those? Why they still make those things? Because I just got mine replaced because I couldn't find it, and then I found it. But they sent me another one. Why they're still paper is beyond me. I mean, why aren't they a plastic card? Everything else is
It's
a plastic.
the government, and these are the same people that are going to give you universal health care. You know.
Oh, man, been doing Medicare for 50 years. Give me a break.
Phil, I have universal health care, basically. I have Medicare. Okay?
Yeah.
And you have Medicare too?
Better than any health insurance.
Are you wanting for medical help?
No, I got the same Kaiser deal I had before.
Yes,
except
exactly. You still have what Bubbles once said at Kaiser is doctor-assisted suicide.
Yeah. When they did the prostatectomy, they used a hatchet.
Yeah, they used and a drill bit.
Don't they have a robot that does that?
Yeah,
this is our robot.
Yeah,
and an old coat hanger.
We got you.
Yeah.
Well,
and I didn't even need an abortion.
Yeah, right. No, but all I'm saying is that what you're complaining about, what you're making jokes about, is the very thing you already have, and that I have, and that I'm very happy with.
But
I am too.
I would rather be
have
able
to
to
wait
go wherever I
any longer
want
than I ever did.
and have my insurance paid
Wait a
for.
minute, Charlie. Let's do some testimonials here. Excuse me, Kathleen, you can't chime in on this because you don't have Medicare yet.
Wait 10 years.
No. But let the old farts here. Charlie, how good's Medicare?
It is fantastic. It is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, except for the 20% you have to pay out, and then you have to get some kind of supplemental.
I don't have to pay that.
Oh, you don't? What?
No, the state of Texas, because I worked for them for 27 years, they paid it 20%.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you got a
again on the government dole.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Vernon, Medicare, how good is it?
I've had Medicare for 5 years now, and most of the time, I don't get any medical bills because we also have a supplement. My wife worked for the federal government and has federal Blue Cross Blue Shield as a secondary insurance. So they pick up the 20% that Medicare doesn't cover.
And Alex, you thought your secondary was good.
Well, my secondary is very good, but my wife's employers pay for it. So we don't pay for it. There's still occasionally there's the, and I get this every now and then, bills that, what do you call it, the copay or whatever. Yeah. But outside of that, then usually it's like $17 or something like that. So, Phil, for all you say about how horrible Medicare is, these
how horrible
people,
the government is at doing programs.
Wait a minute.
I had to wait longer when I was on Blue Cross Blue Shield than I ever had to wait on Medicare.
That's because you're an angry person.
Yeah.
That's what made me angry.
Do you have your hand up, Ray?
I just want to say I got to go for a while. I might come back if I can.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. What are we going to do about that space? Okay.
I don't want to waste it.
Leave his picture there.
We'll just leave your frozen picture there. What the hell? If you want to come back, it'll be there. Yeah. And then hang up like that. Yeah. Hang up. Now hang up. There we go. Okay. Terrific. I don't know if you people can see what I see, but he did it perfectly. He did. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see it in a second.
He did a freeze frame. Anyway, where was I? No, so I mean, so for all you're making jokes about it, it's really quite terrific. And if everybody in America had it, it would be terrific for them too.
Once everybody in America had it, then you wouldn't be able to be so terrific because there wouldn't it'd be like going to the DMV again. If you had everybody having it instead of just the people over 65, get used to the line.
Everybody over the age of 65 has it, Phil.
Yeah.
Over the 65, but they'll give you a paper number.
Phil,
so you'll have a piece
there's
of
nothing that
paper again.
Medicare
Phil,
has.
that is ridiculous. That is not true. They don't
You
have
can't
paper
put
numbers in
200
Canada, Britain,
or
and
you can't
France.
put.
There's
and Charlie,
Phil,
you can't
Phil,
put 325 million people on Medicare.
Wait a minute, Phil,
And they all live longer than we do. Every country that has universal health care, people live longer than we do.
Charlie, 325 million people in this country. You're going to put them all on Medicare, and then
VA can cover some
your
of them.
service at 65. You're going to be in the same dumper as the DMV people.
Well, the VA is going to cover some of them, Phil.
Yeah, and as long as Trump is in there, but the VA won't do. They hadn't done a very good job up until now.
He didn't do shit for them, Phil.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything.
Trump hasn't done anything about VA problems.
Yeah, he said if you don't get your appointment within 2 weeks, you go to any doctor you want and we'll pay for it.
Well,
that's universal health care if I don't never heard of it.
No, VA, that's the $700 billion that you don't like what Trump is spending on the military.
Well, Trump is taking money
That's
from
not the
VA
military.
for his fucking
That's
wall.
not military spending. VA is not counted as military spending, Phil.
No, it's not.
Charlie, the wall is shovel-ready jobs. He's just doing Obama's work.
The whole wall idea is shovel ready.
Yeah.
That's why he's got so many Mexicans working on it, because they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, they're going to pay for it.
No, he's not going to pay. They're going to build it, but you just told me that Trump doesn't pay anybody. So I guess if the Mexicans build it and he doesn't pay them, the Mexicans are going to pay for the wall.
Yeah, but the Mexicans in the U.S.
Only when they're standing on this side of the wall.
He said Mexico was going to pay for it.
Tomato, tomato.
By the way, this is interesting. A little piece of news came in this evening. A second intelligence official who was alarmed by President Trump's dealings with the Ukraine is weighing whether to file his own formal whistleblower complaint and testify to Congress, according to two people briefed in the matter. The official has a more direct information about the events than the first whistleblower, who's complained that Mr. Trump was using his power to get the Ukraine to investigate his political rivals, touched off an impeachment inquiry. The second official is among those interviewed by the intelligence community inspector general to corroborate the allegations of the original whistleblower, one of the people said. So we just had that come in tonight.
Just another accusation, unfounded, and
yeah,
without due process.
A corroborated, unfounded accusation. That's what we want.
Corroborated.
Who's he to corroborate it?
Corroborated, Phil. Josh, what do you think? I think you and I were the two people sitting here going, I don't think they're ever going to get Trump. They're going to impeach Trump, or they're going to be able to get him. What do you think now?
Yeah, I was not really in favor of impeachment prior to, what began to happen, because I felt like it was close, and, he might have, gotten away with a lot of things on technicalities, if you will, and I didn't think impeachment was the right way to go. But, listen, in my opinion, the developments of the last, what's it been, 10, 12 days or whatever, I think that's where it has to go. And I think that's where it's going to go. I think there's no doubt that there's going to be a vote for an impeachment, and then it's gonna be in the affirmative. I think we're gonna reach the point where, we have to have a trial, and I think that's the right thing to do. And I was just talking to Patrick about this. My reasons for this are not political. I'm not enjoying this process despite the fact that, I can't stand the man. I mean, this is not good. My reasons are not, political. I'm not going to take joy in the fact that, he's probably going to have caused his own demise. I mean, my reasons for this they're constitutional. I mean, it's about time that one of the branches of government that has abdicated power for an incredibly long time in this country begins to take some of it back, take some responsibility. I mean, these are the kinds of things, abuses of power that they just can't let go, or it's going to allow presidents in the future to get away with, I mean, damn near anything. If this is not an egregious abuse of power, that warrants an impeachment, then I don't know what is. I mean, we're entering dangerous ground. I mean, you've got a lot of people that 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, would have never allowed these kind of things to go on, and now all of a sudden they're either in one of two camps. Well, the president can't be charged with a crime. Okay, so you can't impeach him for any of that kind of garbage. Oh, and this doesn't warrant. So I mean, we're going to end up with a king here before long. Yeah. I mean, it's time to pump the brakes on this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think
I think that's where it's going.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
I think I agree. It's that you and I were kind of like, and Charlie will agree with us because he kind of, I think, was a little bothered by it at times. You and I were both kind of on the side of, impeachment. At this point, it's out of the question. Let's not go down that road. Let's make the way to impeach him is to get him not reelected. And now I'm in the camp of let's nail this motherfucker because he really thinks he can get away with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was not.
What was it? 2 days after Mueller testified, he figured he got away with it before. He's going to get away with it now. 2 days after Mueller testified, he's riding the Ukrainian president.
What he does is,
yes,
Josh.
I was just saying, I was not in favor of that before. I think that the Mueller issue, I think he did a lot of bad stuff, and I think he got away with a lot of stuff. But the thing about the Mueller deal was, it was very confusing. It was very long. There was just shit tons of information there. It was very hard to decipher. I guess what I'm saying is I like the fact that they have a single issue, kind of a single act. I mean, there's some other things wrapped up in it, but if the Mueller report was this big, or that situation was this big, I think this here is this big, which means people can understand it, people can see it, and you can pick a side and go, have the argument and go with it.
Phil has his hand up.
All right. Representative Jordan from Ohio was on the committee yesterday that heard from Volker, and his take is that Volker did not give the Democrats what they wanted, and it was the same empty hole as the Mueller report.
You're reading this, aren't you, Phil?
No, I'm not reading it. It's the same. I saw it on the news. It's the same empty hole. The other thing is,
okay. My response to that would be, what did you expect a guy like Jim Jordan of all people to say?
The truth.
I don't know.
Okay, let's get the distaff position on all of this, Kathleen.
Well, for the most part, I really don't talk about politics, but what we do in life catches up with us.
Yeah.
That's about all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, do you have an opinion either way on this whole impeachment deal? I mean, do you think that it smells like he did something wrong?
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
I wanted to complete the statement. It seems as though they had the information on this before, and they were talking about impeachment. I think this whole thing was a setup by the committee that's doing this, by Nadler, and this is a setup. It's similar to the stink that came from the Kavanaugh hearings when Avenatti marched these women up in front of there that had nothing to do with it. This whole thing smells from stink. And I don't think that there's 1 ounce of truth to it. And I think what they're doing is the same thing they did in Kavanaugh.
Yeah. Vernon's got his hand up.
Trump didn't admit to doing a crime.
Vernon's got his hand up.
It would be nice if we could all get away from our confirmation bias. That's what's going on right here. Phil has his confirmation bias. He sees what he wants to hear. This stuff that he's talking about are the Republican talking points, which, by the way, they also sent to the Democrats. They also sent the same talking points to the Democrats, saying that the committee knew about this whistleblower before his complaint was ever filed, which is bullshit. The whistleblower did not know what to do, so he contacted part of the staff of the Intelligence Committee saying, I've witnessed something. I don't know what to do.
The guy
they're the ones who told him. They're the ones who told him to go to the IG, go to the Inspector General, go about the process in the proper way. That's all they told him.
This is the well-written report. This is the concise, best-written report they'd ever seen. They were the ones that not only got this guy to stand up and do this, but they also got him an attorney. This stinks from the Kavanaugh hearings. This stinks from Blasey Ford. This is another Democratic attempt at overthrowing an election that was duly won. That's all this is. And those guys are going to go down.
That's a baseless charge because the Democrats don't have anything to do with this. I mean, Charlie is right in the sense that Trump is openly, admitting the fact that he did and said what is in the complaint. He still continues to do it. And I know that your argument is, well, he didn't admit to a crime. And I'm just saying, I don't care. He doesn't have to commit a crime to be impeached.
He says
an abuse of power is not against the law per se, but he can still be impeached for it. I mean, impeachment is a political process at the end of the day, and a president can be impeached for not committing a crime. And you're only going to find a handful of people in the United States that won't agree with that. One of them might be Alan Dershowitz, but I would just remind you that Alan Dershowitz is a fucking idiot.
He's a moron.
Yes. And I mean, he's going to be. I mean,
they try to
stop
Charlie.
Charlie
tried to take Dershowitz down with Epstein, and they couldn't do it.
Wait a minute. Charlie's got his hand up, Phil.
All right.
Phil is just wrong. He has admitted to a crime.
No, he
hasn't. It is a crime to ask a foreign government for help.
He was investigating
3 governments, China, Australia, and the Ukraine. He admitted asking them for help against
he's investigating corruption, and that he's allowed to do.
A crime.
No, it's not a crime to investigate corruption.
And I'm like, that's like the guy Phil who hired a hooker and then said that he was just doing a paper on prostitution. He was investigating prostitution. This whole nonsense about how he was trying to stop corruption is utter bullshit.
It doesn't matter. It's a crime to ask a foreign government for help.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but that was my point before, with Charlie. I mean, I agree that action does likely constitute a crime. But the important thing to remember, though, is we don't need to get all mucked up in all that garbage. This is not a criminal trial. We don't have to go to a grand jury. We don't have to get an indictment. We're not held to, the rules of evidence. We're not going to argue. I mean, impeachment is not what impeachment is. Impeachment is whatever the Congress, whatever the United States House of Representatives decides that it's going to be at that given time based on those circumstances. And the fallback for that, what keeps the Congress from impeaching a president for, wearing, fucking white after Labor Day is the fact that no more than 2 years from any given day that they decided to do it, each and every one of them can be removed from office in their own right by the voters.
Let me go to Let me go to the person with good sense here. Let's go to Patrick Blazik. Patrick, what do you think?
I was talking to Josh earlier.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hey, Tony.
Tony, mute.
When you go away, mute, because there was a lot of noise going on.
Oh, I'm
out
sorry.
there.
She's driving me nuts.
I know your mother's driving you nuts, but just,
It's payback for what you do to us.
Can we mute him by ourselves here?
Yeah,
you can.
we actually could. But then he wouldn't know how to unmute himself, so it's terrible.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Anyway, Patrick, what do you think about all this? Because you're kind of, I was.
I think it's a little too late. As I said to Josh earlier, we're about a year away from the election, and this process is going to drag out, and he's not going to end up being removed from office. And frankly, because of that particular issue, he's going to look like a wounded animal to the base, and it will galvanize the base to get behind him even more, because he's just a wounded animal. He's not thrown out of office. And that is where I think the Democrats, they shot their wad in the wrong direction, playing with the Mueller that a year ago or 2 years ago, if they're so sure about impeachment, and like Josh said, it doesn't need to be a crime, they could have found some other shit to start impeachment if for no other reason it could have embarrassed him, and there would be a 2-year distance then between then and the election. All right. Could think, maybe this isn't the guy for me now. But right now, because it's really less than a year that people are going to make a decision, I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't. I think the Democrats shot their load too soon, and
it's going to get them elected.
Vernon has his hand up. Vernon?
2 points. You're forgetting one thing, Patrick. The Democrats were not in charge of the House of Representatives 2 years ago. And number two, the Mueller report and all that, the Mueller investigation didn't start under Democrats. It started under Republicans.
Yeah. Let me also bring up one other thing, Patrick. I want to see what you feel about this. Is that some people are saying, well, what you're saying is true. I mean, the election is about a year away. That's probably the referendum that should be used to boot this guy from office. All right. But we're not using it as a method of getting him out of office, but of saying, we're sorry, no matter what your excuse is, you can't get away with this kind of shit. That this is not acceptable behavior for any president of the United States to engage in. And for us to say, well, we got a year left and let him kind of skate on it is not really the best idea. That you get what I'm saying? That we can't.
No saying skate. And I just want to go back to Vernon first. My point was, you're right, the Republicans were in charge, but Pelosi and the gang, they had mouths that were loud enough. I mean, we had to hear them all the time anyway. They could have started yapping about impeachment just to start the ball rolling.
I think they did.
It would have been pointless, though. It would have been pointless if you're not in charge to start that.
But if you start putting doubt in the minds of people by saying that, by the time they got in power, it would have a better effect. I'm just looking at it from that aspect.
I'm not so sure they would have won in 2018 if they had done what you're saying they should have done, Patrick. They would not have probably taken over the House of Representatives. And the other thing I wanted to say on that regard was that the House of Representatives they're not overjoyed. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is not excited. She's not happy. She's not throwing parties about the fact that they're starting an inquiry about impeaching the president. She's very sad about that. And I am too, quite honestly. But it has to be done because he's not above the law. Nobody is above the law, including Donald fucking Trump.
She's the only one that's not happy because she lost control of the party. She lost control of the House. So, I mean, she was forced into this, and I think she wanted to wait as well. And, you know, now here she is, and I'm sure she has explained to the young kid, the squad or whatever they're called, that if this goes nowhere, we're fucked. Because if Trump gets reelected, because we're playing footsie here,
well, I disagree with that premise that this is going to excite Trump's base. It wasn't Trump's base that got him elected in 2016. It wasn't Trump's base. It was people who crossed over from the Democrats to the Republicans that got Trump elected. It was independents that got Trump elected. And those people are not going to follow him down this rat hole.
I don't know. I think there's enough doubt because it's going to be such a short period that, and the thing is, for somebody like me, I want a crime. I don't want some.
He's admitted the crimes.
Easy there. Just chill out, Charlie. You're going to have a heart attack.
Lose another foot.
Buddies, right? We're buddies. It's cool. Just relax.
He has admitted to crimes.
Well, wait a minute, Phil. You give us.
Obstruction of justice is a crime. The Mueller report has 10 different instances of him committing obstruction of justice. Those are crimes.
I mean, Phil gave us a look like, ooh, you know, and I don't. What is that supposed to mean, Phil? I mean,
it means the Mueller report had nothing. He's not been indicted. He
can't be indicted.
How can you obstruct? How could you obstruct?
He can't be indicted, Phil. Phil, he cannot. The President of the United States. I guess you're not familiar with it, but a President of the United States cannot be indicted.
Look, they said he didn't collude.
No.
So how can you obstruct what you didn't do?
They never said that.
They never said that.
They never said he didn't collude.
They never said that.
No,
they never said that.
They never.
No, they wrote it in the report.
Find me where it says it in the
collusion. They never used the word.
Read it to me.
There is no collusion anywhere in the Mueller report.
Phil,
in that report.
Phil, go find it. Okay, go find it.
I don't have to find it. It's not in there.
Yes, you do, because you just said it isn't in there. So he didn't do
it.
Huh?
He didn't do what
they didn't say. They didn't say there was
collusion. They never said there was no collusion.
Well, at the end of the day,
all along,
I mean,
that's Schiff said, "Hey, I've got the Mueller report. When the Mueller report comes out, it is going to prove that he colluded.
It proved that he had committed obstruction of justice 10 times, at least 10 times.
Well, the prosecutor didn't.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
OLC memo. Because of an OLC memo, they chose not to indict.
So therefore, he didn't break the law because he couldn't break the law if he couldn't.
If he shot Pelosi in
Article
the head,
2 of the Constitution, unlike what Trump thinks, Article 2 of the Constitution does not tell Donald J. Trump that he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Well, he can in New Jersey.
But at this point, it does not make any difference what was in or was what not in. This is not about the Mueller report. Exactly. The last 90 seconds of all that arguing is not. It doesn't matter. This is not about that. And I'm personally not concerned that an impeachment will, energize his base for two reasons. One, because I don't care, because it's not about winning the next election for anyone in this country. It is about putting the vehicles of our government back in the lanes that they belong in and doing it as quickly as possible. And number two, if impeachment is going to energize Trump's base, if you believe that, if I were to concede that point wholeheartedly, isn't it not fair to argue that it is also just as equally, if not more, going to energize the base of the Democratic Party? I mean, I mean, that's a wash to me. I don't really know what that would.
The Democrats don't come out and vote.
So you'll be more enthusiastic when you vote for him next time. You'll be more excited. It still counts as one fucking vote.
Nobody will sit at home. You know, how much did he raise since this impeachment inquiry thing? How much has he raised in the last 3 or 4 days? I think it was $15 million. The guy is raising money like it's going out of style with small donations. What that tells you is it's energizing his base.
Who do you? Where are you getting your information from? Trump, the biggest fucking liar in America?
Small donations.
I get the information from CBSN.
Yes, he's raised a great deal of money in the last few weeks, as you said, because it will energize his people. That again, that's fine. The Democratic presidential candidates in whole are also raising large amounts of money, all of which will eventually get funneled to the nominee in one way or the other, or at least most of it will. So again, I'm just saying that's a wash. If it energizes everybody's base and everybody in this country votes in this next election because of that, that is a byproduct that I can more than live with. I don't have a problem with that.
I'm wondering how well.
Will you be able to live with
Phil, enough. So.
He's not.
If that's what happens, then that's what happens.
Democrats won't stay home now. They stayed home in 2006.
I mean,
they always stay home.
But at this point in the game, that is a hypothetical question because him being eligible to run is not necessarily a given at this point. We are only several days into this investigation, and the evidence is not looking good.
Kathleen, this has been the circus I've been running, and I feel like the lion tamer, and I've got to keep everybody on their pedestals, you know. And then, okay, come off your pedestal and run around, Phil. Okay, now get off your pedestal, Charlie. Run around. It's.
And I'm for the process, you know, Phil. I think you know that. I'm very fair. I'm going to call it like I see it. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. This is the process. It's an inquiry. There hasn't been a vote yet. Then there will be a vote. And if we're going to have a trial, then that's perfect. That is due process. What can be more due process and fair?
And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but a few Republican senators are starting to crack. Okay, they're starting. What? Not just Mitt Romney. There's another one now. Another couple.
Ron Johnson.
And Mitch McConnell has said he doesn't feel comfortable with the president's position on this Ukrainian thing. You know, so the cracks in the wall, in the Republican wall, are there, and they're beginning to say, do we really want to throw ourselves in with Trump, or do we want to keep a safe distance now? You know, and when that happens, it's all over for Trump.
They got nobody to replace him with.
That's right.
And you know, it's easy to question when you don't have to vote. Now, what Trump is saying is he's saying to the Democrats, well, you know what? Why don't you hold a vote in the Congress and have a formal impeachment inquiry instead of this circus?
It's all smokescreen.
This is a circus. It's all bullshit.
Here we go.
A vote is not required in order to have an impeachment inquiry.
Okay, my head's gonna explode any minute now.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but my point is going to be that I'm fine with him saying that, and there will be a vote. But I think you know as well as I do that the way the tribal politics is working in America right now, and I don't think you're doing anything to help that case, is if they don't have a vote right away and they take their time and they go through due process, as you said 3 minutes ago, you're upset. But if they go real fast and they have a vote tomorrow, you're going to be upset and you're going to say, "Well, they just fucking rushed to judgment."
That's not true.
That's horseshit.
Let me tell you something, Josh. Let me tell you something. What happens is if they have the vote, then the Republicans can subpoena and they can call witnesses as well. Right now, this is a one-sided travesty of justice, and there is no justice.
Phil, even people like Fox are starting to give up the ghost.
Fox is an entertainment network. What kind of credence do you put in Fox? You put credence in Fox now?
You put credence in Fox a while back.
Well,
Republicans aren't going to issue subpoenas because Republicans aren't in charge of the House.
They can.
They're not
they
going to
can
issue subpoenas.
If there's a formal
they can't.
vote and inquiry.
No,
they can't. Well,
I've never seen that part. Where's that?
Republicans cannot issue subpoenas unless
Okay,
they're
Supreme
in charge.
Court Justice Vernon.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I think Josh.
I volunteer. I volunteer to take Brett Kavanaugh's place.
Yeah, but I think you try to kiss me in high school.
My daughter has a bumper sticker in her car that says "My cat is smarter than the president."
I think maybe we should get Kathleen to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I think that might be.
The seat's too small.
I mean,
except I'm strictly by the book.
Huh?
The opposition party controls the House and, will draft the articles of impeachment. The trial will be held in the Senate where his party is in control. The Chief Justice of the United States, appointed by a president of his political party, will oversee the process. To me, 2 out of 3 in his case isn't bad. I don't know how it could be more fair.
Do you think
for the
Roberts
president of
would
that
be unfair?
And if the people love him as much as you seem to think they do, then this isn't going anywhere. Then he has nothing to worry about. I mean,
he has nothing to worry about. But this
then you should be welcoming an opening and an examination in the interest of American democracy.
Okay, just wait till the shoe's on the other foot. That's the problem with this thing.
I can tell you right now that unlike many people in your party, and in my opinion, you yourself, if the shoe were on the other foot and there were a person in the White House of my political party acting in the way that he was acting, I would be the first goddamn person to drive down there and wave goodbye on his way out the door. And I will go so far as to say, if you will allow me a moment, that I think the other day that the actions of Adam Schiff in his reading of this parody horseshit was exactly that, was horseshit. And I think they need to watch their ass on some of that stuff. And I think the other Congress lady from wherever, I can't remember, going on her website and selling shirts saying, we're going to get the motherfucker. Yeah. That's the kind of shit that I think's over. I'll agree with you on that.
Well, thank you
That's
very
what
much.
I've been saying from the beginning is I will call this as I see it. I'm in the interest of constitutional authority and equal justice under the law here, not party politics.
Let's change the subject for a second here. So, Kathleen, what are you and the kid doing this weekend?
I have to replace the faucet on my sink, and then I'll probably put in a reverse osmosis system underneath. So I'll be at Home Depot tomorrow. Home Depot.
All right.
See how exciting? See now that
that keeps Vernon in business, I think, right?
Oh yeah,
I was in tool rental this week, so I don't know if he'll come rental. So.
Well, you were in tool rental. That meant, of course, that you rented out presidents of the United States, right?
So, and where do you live, Vernon?
I'm in Kentucky.
Okay, Kentucky, nice.
Yeah. Now, does the kid Sean go out and help you with this stuff? With
hell no.
Putting in the new faucet? No,
you do not.
Right here. What?
Home Depot. You hate Home Depot. He's like, you're only gonna get one thing, right? One thing.
Alex was just bragging the other day about how he fixed his toilet and he fixed his ice maker. Maybe he got some of this domestic bliss from you.
No, she's good. She's good at this kind of stuff. Plus, she's been a homeowner for so long that you do get to the point where you start fixing this stuff for yourself rather than bringing somebody else and paying them obscene amounts of money.
You got to learn to call the guy.
Huh?
No, man, my air conditioner broke last year. My son was freaking out, and so I go out there and I tear the thing apart because I knew it was either the start capacitor or the thermistor because it would fire up and it would stop.
The thermistor?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing, a thermistor?
Yeah.
The what capacitor? Was that in the Back to the Future?
It wasn't the start capacitor, so it was probably the thermistor or the run capacitor.
What the fuck is a thermistor?
It's a temperature switch.
Alex.
I was going to say it's a small thermos bottle.
Thank you.
No, it's a temperature switch.
Really?
So
See, he knows.
I found this great shop in Stockton. I mean, it was like a toy store for me. And took it in there. $11 later, came back, fired it up, ran into the house, high-fived my son, and I said, "Who's your daddy,
Okay,
bitch?"
but if you told Sean you were going somewhere that he would be thrilled to go, where would that be?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Remember that hardware store that was on San Rafael Boulevard?
Oh,
Yeah.
Freeman's.
Yes, Freeman's.
Yes.
I like Freeman's.
Yeah. But that
I mean,
wouldn't.
'cause they just had some really obscure stuff.
But
They
Sean,
had everything.
Sean wouldn't be thrilled with that, would he?
No.
No.
Didn't they have Alex Bennett posters there?
Why
At
would
Freeman?
they?
Yeah,
And
obscure
wasn't it
stuff.
right down the road, right down the street from Babu's Rugs?
Yes, Babu's Rugs. We bought a lot of rugs there.
Yes.
Babu's. Is
I
that
still
the
have.
place that
I
was
still
on Mill
have.
Valley
I still have
on
those
the-
rugs in this apartment.
Wow.
Same here. I have two.
Yeah, yeah. I have
They
my. I,
lasted
well, I had my.
forever.
When I left California, I had my going out of business sale, and she got a lot of it. You know.
Is that the place that was at the intersection in Tam Junction, where if you went to the right, you went to Mill Valley. If you went to the left, you went to Stinson Beach?
Yeah. Oh, Ray Renati's about ready to take up his space here at the very
Yeah.
end of our program.
Hey.
I just
Yeah.
want to be able to give a proper wave goodbye.
Well, yeah, just stick
We got a
around for the
couple
end
minutes.
of the show. You just got about a minute 30 seconds before we start rolling the
Right.
theme song. You know.
Yeah.
That was a good screen capture, Ray.
Yeah.
If you're going to do screen capture, folks, remember that. And if you're going to leave us that way.
No, you don't.
You know. This thing just keeps going on and 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 on, and it keeps going on and on. It's just, it's not fun.
After all of this, do you have an ice maker that works?
No, that ice maker, now the water doesn't come out. So I've given up on it.
Ask Kathleen why, and maybe she could tell you how to fix
No,
it.
well, I could replace it. I probably need to replace the water pump that brings the water up into the ice maker, but I don't want to do that. I have to move the refrigerator, and it's just too much. I got,
you need the flux capacitor.
The flux capacitor.
You gotta get up to 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I gave up on the ice maker. But I was so proud when it was working beautifully. I mean, I went, look at me, what I did, and then all of a sudden, it, for some reason, just stopped working. So
it's just not.
I have no idea. Well,
did you have a gold star for a day, though?
Yeah, I did. Anyway, hey, listen, there's our theme song. But by the way, I just want to thank you, Kathleen, for being like 3 nights in a row, or so 4 nights in a row. Here every night. Love having you here.
4.
Yeah, keep doing it.
No.
Keep doing it, because we love having a female on the panel as a kind of a regular, And it's and I always
especially one under 75.
I always yeah. Have you started menopause yet?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So you haven't
there you
even gone
go.
through menopause yet. Hey, a hot chick. She's still going.
No, she's not hot because she's not having flashes.
Okay, well,
Thank God.
it's getting cold out here in New York, and I could use a woman with hot flashes to keep me warm. Anyway, listen, I want to thank you, Kathleen. I really appreciate it. Call next week too. We love having you here. Okay.
I will.
Ray, thank you. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Vernon. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Charlie, to Patrick, to oh God, damn it, Tony.
Tony.
Why is it I always forget Tony's name? I keep, wanting to say serial killer. I don't know. Anyway, what I think you all should do is give a big wave goodbye to everybody out there and let them see your smiling faces. There we go. There they go. They're out of here. They're gone for the night. Thanks for everybody dropping by this evening. Let me get rid of the citizens panel. Do that, and then close down the Oh, I don't have to close down this. I can just close down the Skype, and there we go. It's ready for the next show, which is Jack Bishop and the Intersection, which is coming up next over most of this same Gabnet. Meanwhile, we'll be back again on Tuesday after Damian Chaplin does the exchange at 9:30 at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be back same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.